Hello party people, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tori. Thank you so much for being here today. If I'm posting this when I want to post this, it's the 1st of December, so now is the perfect time to talk about winter trends. Let me just put out this little disclaimer. This video is not predicting winter trends because it's already December, so the trends have begun to come in. And I also think it's really hard to predict trends now because everything is in style. I think this cycle of trends has shifted so greatly, like even from like this time last year to now. I feel like the lifespan of trends has changed drastically. It's gotten drastically shorter, and I feel very overwhelmed when I think about it. So I'm going to be talking today about trends that I've already kind of noticed, like hitting the malls and hitting really shoppable stores, and whether I think they're worth purchasing or not. These are all my own opinions, so if you love something that I don't, or if I love something that you don't, I'm not going to take it personally. I hope you don't either. And if we have different opinions, leave them down below in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with you all. Let's hop in. Okay, the first group I have written down are military inspired outerwear, and I feel like we are seeing this in two different ways right now. We're first seeing it in like the army green liner jackets that are really popular and the bomber jacket. I'm calling this the Top Gun effect. I'm blaming Tom Cruise. I'm blaming Tom Cruise, and I'm blaming all of you for hyping up the one beach scene of Miles Teller when the volleyball scene in the OG Top Gun is so much better. I think in terms of my own personal style, I think I would opt for purchasing a liner padded jacket over the bomber jacket. I had a huge phase in like 2015, 2016 when I wore bomber jackets all the freaking time. I had this black one that I wore 2 bits, and I wore another one kind of like more of like the silk look bomber jackets that were heavily inspired by a lot of Japanese street style. And because that was my signature look for a while, I don't think I can touch a bomber jacket for like another 5 years, to be honest. I feel like bomber jackets as a jacket are something that's very timeless and will continue to come back and be in and out of style for many, many years to come. But for me, I think they just have too much of a hold culturally, so I'm like, I can't. So think a lot about like the really popular Alpha Industries ones. I think about the popular Kanye Yeezy ones. I also think of like Harley Quinn and her bomber jacket. You know, like it was very of the times and a very formative era, so I'm gonna pass on that. But I will say I do kind of like the look of the padded liner jacket. I know this was also really big around the time the bomber jackets were in as well, but I never really gravitated towards that. I did try on a jacket like this at Abercrombie. I inevitably passed on it because it fits kind of weird on me. I think if I tried out this trend, I would take the advice of some of you, and I would definitely go to like an army surplus store or a thrift store to try one on and see if they really look cool. But also my brother just bought one and I will be stealing it from his closet. So moving on, I feel like this list is going to be kind of like mishy-mashy. We're not really talking about like top to bottom or like clothing and accessories. We're just rolling with the punches. The second item I have listed on here are mohair knits. I feel like I've seen a lot of mohair knits really come into more affordable price points. For me, the most iconic kind of mohair that I can think of is the Marni cardigan and the Marni sweaters. And obviously that's a huge designer brand, but now I'm seeing it in more affordable places. I definitely have like a mohair look cardigan from Unif. I think a lot about Brain Dead, which is a really fun streetwear brand that I've really been liking lately. I even saw in Urban Outfitters, there are a lot of Stussy. I've seen them in a lot of this like mohair texture. I also really like this like style of knit, especially with like the kind of colors it has. It kind of looks like cotton candy. It kind of looks like watercolor, like all these colors just like fading in and out. I really think mohair knits are very cool. I feel like they're also perfect for me as someone who loves texture. Like I literally have a fur collar on this cardigan, but I know I'm someone who loves like textures and I love feathers, but I never want to like commit to a feather item in my closet because I know I don't have the energy or the time to like get those properly cleaned. But whereas mohair, it's a lot of just like hand wash, hand dry, and I'm like, that is the kind of effort I like. The next winter trend I wanted to talk about are riding boots. And if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that last fall I was talking a lot about equestrian chic. And I love it in theory, but I know it's personally not for me. I think I'm a booty girl. Till the day I die, I think I'm more of a booty rather than a knee-high kind of heeled boot kind of person. And I also blame that on the fact that not a lot of these knee-high boots come in my size. So I've been conditioned to not even look in that direction. But I've been seeing a lot of riding boots, a lot of stiletto booties, and I think they're so fun and they're so cool, and I love the way that people have been styling them. I also definitely think that riding boots and stiletto boots also kind of lend themselves to any kind of aesthetic that you're really into. I know earlier, like last month, everyone was obsessed with calling themselves like a Matilda, what was it? It was like a Bella Bot or a Matilda minion. And kind of like bomber jackets, knee-high boots always come in and out of style every few years or so. So when you find a really good pair, hold on to them for dear life. Speaking of shoes, the next winter trend I have on here on my little list are the Nike Shox. They're the Nike Shox that I'm talking about. I just like misidentified them in this clip. And they're kind of on the rise because Martine Rose recently did a collaboration with Nike for these. But I would say that I think that this shoe trend is also bringing back this like very specific kind of like athletic shoe. Like I think of the Nike Shox and I think of like this like Asics look. And I feel like this is the new it sneaker style. I'm sorry, but to me they're an ugly shoe, and I feel like when I see like especially like influencers styling them, I'm like, are they actually cute or are you just gorgeous so everything you wear is beautiful on you? You know what I mean? It really makes you think. I feel like once one sneaker trend has been like widely adapted, a new one immediately happens. I feel like now that everyone is wearing the like Adidas Gazelles and the Adidas Sambas, there are definitely tastemakers who are like, okay, now that everyone's wearing that shoe, let's move on to the next. I've said this before in a video, but I definitely think that sneaker trends are the ones that are the fastest to move. And if you don't know what kind of sneakers you like, it's very easy to fall into the trap of buying a very trendy sneaker. And I also know how silly it sounds to say that a sneaker is trendy because obviously everyone wears sneakers all the time. But I feel like once you know what kind of shoe you like to wear, you're going to be able to filter out the noise. Like I've talked about this before, but I'm definitely a leather sneaker girl. I try to like keep up with the trends, but I really at the end of the day realize I'm very much a leather sneaker girl. I love a Vans old school and I do love the Air Max 9. Obviously I can stray away from that and I can change and my taste will change, but overall those are like my main three. So because I know myself in that way, whenever I see a new sneaker, I'm like, I actually don't need to participate in that. Thank you so much. Okay, the next kind of category I wrote down here is balletcore, specifically Sofia Coppola-ified. Obviously balletcore has been a really huge topic of conversation, especially when it comes to like these like aesthetic cores that we've created online. But I feel like lately you've been seeing balletcore inspired things in two different items. The first are hair bows and the second are white or pink tights. I feel like if you wanted to embrace this trend, these are actually really easy to incorporate into your pre-existing closet. I'm literally staring at this whole basket of ribbon that I bought literally at the craft store for like $1 to like use when I do my hair or when I make little braids. And I also just ordered some off Princess Polly, so I'm really excited to get some. I think they're just really cute, feminine touch. And again, I think they also lend themselves to a lot of different occasions and a lot of different aesthetics. So even if long after balletcore is like no longer cool, there are definitely ways you can still incorporate it into like a really cute holiday look. And then when it comes to white and pink tights, I really like the look of these tights. For me specifically, I'm not just thinking about like colored opaque tights, even though I know a lot of people can rock those really well, but I'm thinking about like these ones with ribbon from the brand No Dress. I think these ones are darling. I would love to wear them. Okay, now that I'm realizing it, I feel like a lot of the things I'm talking about are just things I like and not so much things I would pass on. It's fine. It's fine. The next category I have is sheer dressing, and I'm a big fan of sheer dressing. I'm a big fan of sheer look stuff. Like when it comes to layering or when you have a really fun dress with like a cool like sheer panel. I would just say that I wish we would see more body diversity within this trend, and I know that's a lot to ask of like the fashion industry and stuff, but I feel like I've only been seeing a lot of like straight sized people wearing this. It begs the question, like, is this trend actually accessible for everyone? I guess time will tell, but I will say I did see this bodysuit at Abercrombie & Fitch and it gave me major American Apparel energy. Are we going back to that? I've talked a lot about indie sleeves on this channel, so I feel like we're going back to that. I feel like the time is near, but let's just hope that it's gonna be more size inclusive. Yeah, I hope it is. I mean, I'm definitely spiraling. I went and saw the 1975 twice in the span of a week, and I am that's literally all my brain is thinking about. I'm like, Harry Styles who? So I'm so sorry if I become annoying. And then the last category I have on here is big shoulder bags. I'm so glad that this era of big bags is finally here. I feel like I've been talking about it. I feel like I'm a broken record. I feel like I've been talking about it for like the past year and a half, but I'm so excited. I feel like now the big bag is back. I feel like when it comes to like designer pieces, I think of like the latest YSL, latest Chanel, and even like the latest Prada. If you're a tote girly, you know the problem of like having to like sling a tote over your shoulder because it's always slipping off. But I feel like with bigger bags, when they're a little bit more structured, you don't really have that problem. But I also just think that these like half moon, these crescent bags that we've been seeing a lot of over the past year are just going to get bigger and a little bit more blown up. So I'm really excited to see those as well. It just makes more sense. We're carrying more stuff around. Why are there so many helicopters flying around LA right now? That it's not that serious. But it's okay. Those cannot damper my excitement for big bags to come back. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching if you watched all the way to the end. As you can tell, I'm very excited for a lot of things that have already kind of started to trickle into stores for winter season. And I don't know if that's because so many things that I've talked about before are finally like coming into fruition, or if it's just because everything is cool now. So now everything is kind of a free-for-all. And that's really it. If you want to see more of me, feel free to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Storygraph. Still kind of shit posting on TikTok if we're honest. If there are any winter trends that you've noticed that I've missed, leave them down below. Let's talk about it. I'd love to have conversations with you all. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you for the next one. Bye.